just a case of really arranging them on the palette so that the yellows don't go too near the blues, because otherwise everything will turn green. I mean, it will anyhow, but just...
Okay, I've got these sienna...
yeah, so start with your browns at that end then.
Okay.
And then you can put yellows next to the browns, yellows and reds, and then keep the blues and greens over this side.
So brown.
I mean, that is the funny part, squeezing out your paints.
Burnt sienna.
Yeah, so keep the colour, that's right, keep the colours
And then...
together. The two yellows, you need your other yellow there.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the reds, yeah, the blues that side, very good. No, reds next to the yellows. And then the green next to the blues. That's the way. And if you put the green that end, because that's the greenest blue.
Okay.
Which, you will see when you do colour mixing.
I've got one or two here. I don't know whether I should incorporate.
I wouldn't have any more. I mean, to start with, keep with the basic. Basically, you need 6 colours. 2 blues, 2 yellows, 2 reds. So you've got a warm and a cool yellow, a warm and a cool red, and a warm and a cool blue.
Okay.
This is an extra one. What's that? Cobalt? Cerulean, yeah. I mean, you can put that in, but you don't actually need that because you could mix something similar, but you might as well have it because it's good for skies and things. And then the green, it's a really useful extra, and the 2 browns there and the ochres, they're the earth colours, and they're useful as well.
Okay.
Not so much for mixing, but more for sort of doing bases for rocks or buildings or sand or anything like that. You just have to be really careful with the brown, because the brown can make everything a bit muddy.
What about if you want to make grey?
That's a long story, and we'll do that later.
Okay.
So yeah, if you put them out on the palette, just move these along a bit.
I bought a couple of paintings if you wanted to.
Right. Well, let's get the paints out first.
Yes, I was just thinking if I do this.
Well, I sort of need to talk them through.
Oh, right.
But this sort of may seem like a bit laborious, but it's really important. Once you've got the palette laid out, if you always keep it that same layout, then you automatically go to the right colour. It's like learning to drive. And so, you know, if you need a yellow, you automatically go over there, not down there.
Yes.
And so it's just sort of getting this muscle memory, which is really good. So
any particular order? Well, if I start with the reds at this end.
if you do it that order.
And then see what I end up with.
Red's going to yellow's going to...
So how much do I put in?
Just a little, tiny bit.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't need that much. Okay. Certainly for now.
So this is just for each time you paint?
Well, once you've got it laid out, then you can, as I say, just squirt it with the water, leave it for a few minutes. That's what I've done here, and then just leave it to soften.
Okay.
But it depends how much you're doing. If you're just doing a little bit of painting, that's fine. But if you want, something a bit more, or obviously fresh paint is the best and nicest to work with.
Okay.
And it's just lovely, isn't it? There's something about squeezing out the paint. It's like the Japanese thing of grinding your ink. It's a bit of a zen moment, isn't it? And
so exciting! I've never done it before. But
no.
I just did it a little bit into each thing.
Yeah. And it just sort of puts sort of method into it. I think there's a real thing about sort of getting yourself into routines with it.
Okay, so
it looks to me as though you haven't got burnt umber, but you have got burnt sienna. So put a bit of burnt umber in there.
Getting it all over my hands. Is that normal?
Yeah, absolutely. Rid of that targa. Yeah, I mean that's all part of it, and it's when you get the green up your fingernails, which is really hard to get rid of.
Well, it doesn't look as exciting as yours because I haven't got full things, but still they're there, like a little rainbow.
Exactly, and it will start to build up as you use it, you see, and then when I clean the palette, I just clean the mixing bits.
Yes.
This is actually a good one. I did sort of mention one like this, I think.
Oh, did you put that on?
Yeah, I did. I found this one, which was £14, and then I found a similar one, which was 11 or something, so I put that one on. But that's quite good because it gives you lots of mixing space.
Oh, I should have got it. I should have got that because I do like that. I think I'll get it anyway.
Yeah, and also this one is supposed to be watertight, which it clearly isn't, because it's got this sort of seal round. Because I've had so many cases of yellow paint dripping out of my rucksack and things, and this is supposed to be watertight, but it's not. So I tend to keep it in a thick plastic bag or several plastic bags. then the plastic bags get a hole in and you're back to square one. But you know, it's so yeah. So then you need to open your paper. And what you need is to have it at an angle. I'll show you the paints I like to get these days. I've got my separate pack here of the paints I take away with me because they're great size tubes. And these are artist colours.
Yes.
They're Jackson's own brand. I sound as though I'm doing an advert, don't I? Jackson's own brand. And I should get them to sponsor me. But you get good sized tubes, and as I say, you only need a few colours, so you can take that away with you and have enough to paint a million masterpieces. So,
as you do.